Hello everyone and Masters of the Universe fans. This video we're having a look at the Battle for Eternia set. So after seeing the movie twice and being a classic fan of the OG toys and series, I'm quite impressed with this new iteration of the characters. So much so that I went and got all the core figures because I actually like the size, and this is the playset that goes along with them. I have also started getting Chronicles, so yeah, we won't get into that yet. But we're going to just look at this one for today, so I can have it as a backdrop for other openings of the figures. And on the front, we've got the usual amazing Mattel art. As something that they've always done from the very get-go of Masters of the Universe, the box art has always been absolutely beautiful to look at. It makes it sort of hard to even throw out these boxes. I mean, this is a big box, like this is taking up my entire table. So, looking over the front, you got a lot of the characters, or most of the characters that were in the movie. You do get the golden armor Skeletor included. It does give you both Castle Grayskull and an iteration of Snake Mountain. Now this isn't a full-on set of each, but it's a nice thing to have, especially for its intended market, which is the younger ones, to get them into it. Going over the top of the box, you've got your drawbridge that opens, elevator, weapons rack, just like, well, sort of like the original, power sword and altar, that's from the movie. Also get the bone throne, which looks absolutely fantastic. Bit of a spoiler, I have opened this. I'd already did one video, but I didn't like how it came out, so this is the redo. Prisoner lockup, sorry about the glare. There's the action feature with the gate and the zipline attack. And looking over the back of the box, you basically see what's on the inside and a selection of figures. And interestingly enough, down here we've got the, I'm guessing is the core version of Ram Man, which has been announced but is not out yet. So it's interesting they already had him in there for that one. And also up top here we've got Triclops, so it's good to see them two characters. And I really hope they carry on this line and give us more characters, because I like the size and I like the detail and the look of the figures. Bottom of the box just has some writing. This side has He-Man and Ram Man on the box. The other side, there's that glare, has Skeletor and Goatman. And I actually didn't mind Jared Leto's Skeletor. So now that I've looked at the box, I'll get it out here and we'll have a look at the actual set. Okay, and here's the castle out of the box. As I said, I already have had this out and done one review, didn't like it, so this is the redo. So everything's been assembled, the jaws on Snake Mountain and the stickers and everything replaced. But this is what it looks like from the outside, and I must say, in person, it looks really, really good. I wasn't sold on it when I first heard about it, but seeing it and having it in the flesh, I actually really like it. Especially Castle Grayskull's side. I wasn't a fan of the change of colour. The design I don't mind, I actually think it looks quite good. But when I seen the early pictures of the movie, I was like, I'm not sure. But having it here, I actually quite like the design. So I'll flip this around now, we'll get the look at the inside. So looking at the inside, there's not really a lot there. You have a few platforms here on Snake Mountain, the main one on Castle Grayskull, and a little turret one up top, which I can never get this one to really sit in. It just doesn't feel like it's in there properly. You do have the elevator, which does go up and down, and it always sounds worse. Every time I've watched a review, and even my first review when I watched the footage, it sounds like this is like making a horrible noise. It is loud, but it is a clicking noise, not a grinding noise. There's a little weapons rack down here. The stickers, as you can see, already applied. And you got the prisoner lockup. And apart from that, there's not really a lot to the inside. It's just somewhere for kids to play, to place your characters. And it does that good enough. So I've got no problem with that. Okay, if it's spun back around, there's only a couple of real action features or play features on this set. One is the gate for Snake Mountain. So it locks up, and a simple lift of the mouth, and it drops down. And this actually works surprisingly well. And that's the sort of thing that kids really enjoy, being able to get their characters to go in and then drop the gate and have them trapped or whatever. It's a fun little play feature. The one that really gets me but is that the included power sword, which is nice that the handle is actually got the brown wrap. I don't like that they did the gold. I mean, it's something different. It shows that it's for this set, but it doesn't represent the sword from the movie, which is just silver with the brown handle. I haven't looked at the actual He-Man figure yet by himself if it comes, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't got the brown paint. We'll get to that when we get to his review. But the good thing is with this, a little slot here at the side of the castle, and that drawbridge opens very easily. And that's a callback to the original Castle Grayskull, which did the same thing, but on that one it was a slot on the door, and pretty much anything could open it, as long as it was a small, like you'd get a pen in there and open it. This one, you pretty much need the sword or something pretty much the same size, and it opens so easily. And not only that, back out there, it closes very easily too. Now let's get this one out. The only character I've opened individually yet is a Skull Knight. Another future review coming up for him. But just to show you, that's the Skull Knight sword. Alright, so it's a nice thin sword. Guess what? Doesn't work. It won't open the drawbridge. You need the Sword of Power. That's little details that I think is really amazing, and something I appreciate from what Mattel have done with this set. So the other accessories that come with this set, which it doesn't have a great deal, but it has enough. You get the altar for the sword, which the included sword goes in there very nicely. And that looks great. You don't need much more than that. It's a shame that the sword doesn't sit in better, like have a little bit more of a click, all that to really seat in there, because any little bump and it does want to fall out. But for an actual piece that sits there and looks like it's meant to look, I really appreciate that. The other big thing that comes with this set, and it is a big thing, is Skeletor's Bone Throne. And I have to say, this piece looks absolutely amazing. And as you can see, it is not far off the height of the actual castle, so it is a big piece. It does mount inside Snake Mountain, but then it takes up a fair bit of room. You can't close everything, so this really sort of needs somewhere else to live. The skull on top moves, the jaw on it as well opens and closes, and you can remove this, and it's got the same size peg as the figures, so that's just an option that's out there. And all the snakes that are on here, you can move to where you want them. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the colour of the steps, and I paid attention to that today when I went and seen the movie for the second time. It's still out here in Australia in at least one cinema nearby me, so I went and seen it again. And while it is sort of the right colour, there was a lot of muted tones and like different washes, and it was a lot darker. So this is one thing I'm very tempted to either spray or at least put a wash over just to darken it down a bit, because it just is just a bit too bright for my liking. But for kids and for its intended purpose, it's fantastic. As I said, all the snakes move. The heads are a softer piece. Actually, I just felt that when I was moving it, the fangs and that, they move. They're rubbery, so they're not, you know, hard and sharp. But the rest is, I think it's hard plastic. That you can set them up how you want. And once again, a simple wash through a lot of these parts would really bring out detail if you wanted to add a little bit extra to it. The other thing that's included is a zip line. This connects to the inside of the castles and lets you connect this to the arm of a figure. Just hooks your arm around there, and you can zip them between the castles. It works, and it actually works really well, but you sort of have to support both the castles and hold them, otherwise the weight of the figure makes it all want to close in as the figure drops, and then it just sort of dangles at the bottom. So look, a nice little inclusion. Kids can enjoy it, but I'm not going to go up. I actually might put some B-roll footage up now of the first review I did where I did actually get it to work and show that. But yeah, it's just one of those nice little options that's there for the intended market. And you could even set it up, you know, with it being around and have a figure on there. But I think most people are going to display it with it face out, so you won't really be able to use this. But it's still nice to have. And now, last and certainly not least, the included figure, Gold Skeletor. And when I first seen this on other reviews, I was a bit iffy, because he doesn't appear like this in the movie. It's a very different look. Having him in person and that face detail, this is a phenomenal looking figure. I really do like what they've done here. And to put this in with the kit, it's a good way of making it a bit of an exclusive, because you're going to have to buy this if you want this figure, unless you go and find one, you know, on eBay or somewhere where someone's selling the figure. But you're going to pay probably 2/3 the price, I'm guessing, or at least half the price of the set. So if you want it, I'd rather just say go on Amazon. I got this here in Australia with Amazon Prime. I got a special deal where it was $110 and it came to me in 2 days. So you can't really go past that. Even now at normal price it's $130, and that's still, I think, for what you get, having both castles and the figure and the throne, I think it's worth it. Totally worth it. As I said, just the detail, the look of this figure, the nice soft cape with the extra bit on the neck. I'm not sure if this is meant to be like a collar, or if it's just meant to sort of make it look like it all carries on through one bit. It does like to fold up here at the edges, I've noticed, but it does look good. Now, he comes with his Havoc staff, once again, in the colours for this figure. Not like it does in shows in the movie. It's the same design, but very different colours. And since it's the first time I get to have one of these figures, well, apart from my, as I said, my Skull Knight, which I've got a bunch of these, so I just opened one just to have a look at how everything worked on him. I'll go through the articulation, because these are pretty well done. Head can go down a little bit and up just a bit. Then you can go all the way around. That will make that collar piece move. It seems to be tied into the collar, but it does also like to move around. It's an interesting piece. But as I said, just that head sculpt and the paint work for, you know, these figures are normally here in Australia about, I don't know, $14, $16, somewhere around that mark. That looks absolutely amazing. No opening draw, unfortunately, but hey, it's a figure. Arms go all the way out. They can go almost all the way. They'd go around if it wasn't for the collar, but this is soft, so you would be able to force it if you want. They do go straight out. The forearm twists, and you got 90-degree bend at the elbow. The hands rotate. The hands in the way. And well, I've had trouble getting this to work. Oh, there it goes. It does work a bit more. So this hand on these figures, apparently all of them, goes in and out this way. And on the other side, of course, you've got the same motion with the arm, but the hand, the joint is for up and down. So that's why He-Man, when he holds up the sword, you can bend it down a little bit and get the right angle. You get waist rotation, legs go all the way out, forward about that far. Back seems a bit limited. The thigh only seems to want to go back that way unless you sort of put it out to the side, and then it will go up. but you sort of have to find the right point at where you want it to go. And 90 degrees at the knee, rotation at the knee as well, and nothing at the foot. But as I said, for the intended market and for the price point, considering what the original Masters articulation was, which was shoulders, head, waist obviously, and the hip joints, these are absolutely fantastic. Pop him up here with a little peg there, so he looks all perfect on his throne. So that there is my quick, but looking at the time of this video, longer than expected look over this set. I'm really glad I picked it up because the bone throne is absolutely fantastic. Bit of a wash on this orange and it will look totally different. Skeletor is phenomenal. The colors just pop so well, and the altar looks just so right. Once again, I think a little bit of a wash over this and that would bring it out really good. And then of course you've got the two sets which you can separate. There's plenty of videos showing there's just a couple of lock pins in the middle of the join where it hinges, and you can separate these into two separate castles. So I think this is a perfect addition for not only its intended audience, but for anyone who's into the new movie or wants to get back into Master Universe, maybe had them as a kid and hasn't paid much attention or that over the years, but now has sort of seen the movie or the hype's around and wants to get something that looks cool to display, and this would be the perfect backdrop to have with your figures. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos on these core figures, because I've pretty much got everything available and we'll be getting any figures that future available for it, and I'll be going over them one video at a time. And as I mentioned before, I broke down and actually got one of the Chronicles, well, actually got a few of the Chronicle figures, so I'll be doing a comparison on them as well. And just a hint, there's another gold Skeletor. Don't know if many people know about this, especially if you're not in America. He's coming up in a very soon future review. So hope to see you then. Hope you enjoyed the review. Leave a comment if you did or if you didn't, and let me know what you thought. And I'll catch you in the next video.